Hi ladies and gentlemen, back again, Bathrobe Chronicles number 132. And I'm not sure how interesting you'll find this, but I sort of found it interesting. You know, you talk about made in America, and for years there were certain things that I just felt, for whatever reason, I'm sure not based on any logic or reason or anything, that there were certain things we made in America that maybe not better than everybody else in the world, but we did a pretty darn good job of. And I'm sure we could sit here and we could talk about other countries of certain things that they have an expertise, so to speak, in making. For instance, people might say Germany makes great cameras. Of course, Japan does also. Germany makes great cars. Japan makes great cars. One of the best pair of shoes I've ever owned in my life were Clarks, made in England. And I had these shoes back in the 60s, I believe, and I almost hate to tell you, I wore them almost daily for like 10 or 12 years. These were the most comfortable shoes I have ever owned. It was just, they were great. There's nothing bad to say about them. And I tried to buy some more Clarks a few years ago, but of course, Clarks are no longer made in England. At least the ones I saw were not made in England. And I didn't buy them because I remember these shoes were made in England. I wanted Clarks made in England, but they weren't available. What am I working up to? This is, I'm sure most of us out there, most of you out there know about Maglites, the flashlights, you know, the ones that a lot of cops carry, those big mothers. Of course, they're in all sizes, but anyway. And there's Anthony, and I'm sorry if I can't pronounce his last name, Maglica, M-A-G-L-I-C-A. He is Mr. Maglite. And if you don't mind, I'm going to refer to him as Tony, which is what is on his white coat when he walks around his factory. He has Tony on there. So I don't mean this with any disrespect or anything else. It'd be a lot easier for me to say Tony. Anyway, Tony started this whole thing with $125. He bought some machinery, lathes or something, I believe, and started this thing many years ago. And this is truly, you know, the American dream, so to speak. In fact, he grew up in Croatia during the Depression and with German occupation. Anyway, he ended up coming over here. And he worked for a while, then he borrowed this money or ended up with $125 and got this equipment. And, you know, this is amazing. This guy turned this thing into a small empire, if you will. And they say he's the first one at work. You know, he's almost 80 years old, but he's there every day, walking around his factory and talking to the people and all that kind of stuff. And I saw just a brief interview, and he just seems like a really great guy. Nice fellow, hard worker, and he continues to work at the age of almost 80 because he enjoys working. And he likes his factory, and he likes his folks, and all of that. So I'm not even sure what I was trying to accomplish here, if anything. But I also used to buy, occasionally, I would buy stuff from Land's End and, well, actually more than occasionally, Land's End and LL Bean. And I remember there was a period with Land's End, and this goes back many years ago, when all of a sudden when you looked at the shirt that I'd been buying for several years from them, and it all of a sudden started to say USA/imported. And at that time, you could call them, and when you ordered your shirts, you could say you wanted them USA. For some reason, I just thought we made nice shirts. Now, yeah, I'm sure I'm wrong about that, plus a lot of other things, but I wanted my shirts to be made in the USA. Then after a while, you could no longer say, I want it USA made, because we no longer make it in the USA. No telling where we make it. And that doesn't mean that these poor people over wherever they're making it, they don't need jobs and you know, to help their families and earn money and things like that. But I think things have sort of gotten out of whack here. I mean, and I'm not saying the Chinese make bad products. Almost everything I end up buying seems to be made in China. And of course, you know, I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm not saying it's all good. It surely isn't all good, and it surely isn't all bad. But you wonder, you know, what the heck happened? And I remember I wanted shoes made in the U.S. because for some reason I thought we made decent shoes here. I could be wrong. What the hell do I know? But I doubt if you can, I doubt if you can find hardly anything made in the USA anymore. If I'm not mistaken, LL Bean, almost everything was made in the USA at one time. The same with Lands' End, but no longer. I don't even know why I'm talking about this. But I guess two things. In other words, it's a shame that a lot of our jobs, as I say, are going overseas. And of course, you can see the my production assistant just held her hand up. Yes.
Oh, we're getting close to 6 minutes.
That's fine. We can go 10.
10.
Yes. Excuse me. Anyway, so that's the deal. It just seems a shame that you know we no longer make these items. And as I said, I'm sure over the period of time in the U.S. we've made almost everything, as they have in England and Germany and Japan and smaller countries and China and so forth and so on. But it just seems like, you know, you no longer have a choice. If you want to buy shoes, hey, you know, they aren't going to be made in the USA, I don't think. You know, there might be a couple places. There was a Timberland. I used to buy those shoes. I don't even know if they're made over here anymore. But I was really disappointed in the Clarks because I really wanted another pair of those Clark shoes. They were the world's best shoes. And as I understand it, they're no longer made in England. Yeah, it's still an English name, so to speak, but they sure aren't made in England. So, that's where we are. If you've made it this far, thanks for watching. And as Pat Condell would say, ladies and gentlemen, peace, peace, peace. My production assistant